Hey, you guys, we are live at South by Southwest, having some fun here today. It's Dams of the West. Are you stopping me or giving me a peace sign? All right, we're continuing here. It's Dams of the West. This is Chris with me today.
Hello.
Hello, man. So South by Southwest, you arrived here just the other day.
Yes.
And you've done South by Southwest before, right?
Yes, a couple times. The last time I was here really in the mix was on Vampire Weekend's first album in 2008.
Okay, so South by Southwest, what do you think it is about this festival in particular that makes it work? Like, why come back to this?
Sensory overload. Pure sensory overload.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's become, I think because the city is so cool and all of the fans and whatever various sort of external stuff that comes to this city, that it's just a great place for so many people to be together and sort of like hear a bunch of stuff that maybe you wouldn't otherwise hear.
Yeah. So do you have something that you have to get when you come to Austin? Like, is there like a taco?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not actually in Austin.
All right. Well, it's okay.
So the Austin tourist board might not like this, but I like to drive half an hour south of here to Lockhart, Texas.
Okay. What's in Lockhart?
There's a few barbecue places, which there's some story of like a family feud where like when a parents died, these two brothers wanted to take over the family barbecue joint, but then they split off.
Yeah.
So there's two very good barbecue options in Lockhart, Texas.
Okay. So what's the one, or do you go in between?
I've had both, and they're both great, and I'm from New Jersey, so I can't speak to their family dynamics or even like the relative merits of barbecue.
You're like, that
They're
one
both-
is delicious.
They're both good to me.
Yeah. What's your go-to?
I like a little brisket, maybe the fatty tips or whatever, and I like a smoked sausage. I know that's kind of weak, that's low on the chain, but
Yeah. Hey, man, you like what you like.
and you got to get the potato salad.
Well, we've been having a little
Wait.
game. Oh,
Are there some questions in the set?
There
Can I pick
is.
out 3?
Yes.
And then I'll hand them to you, and then you can ask me them.
dude, we've got this. You've got this
Okay.
down. It's like you've seen the game.
I'm gonna pick. This is a long one,
Okay. One.
or should I not be looking? This is a short one,
Okay.
and this one's just right.
Perfect. All right, let's do this. Oh, okay. So,
It's a good one.
yeah, I like this one. You picked well. What is your road trip soundtrack? What have you been listening to?
Okay, I actually just drove from Kansas City to Austin by myself.
Yeah.
In the minivan, and there's probably way cooler answers, but I listened to the entirety of a podcast as it stands now.
Yeah.
Called Road Trippin' with RJ and Channing, and
All
it's
right.
it's a podcast of 2 veteran NBA players who play for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're really just like they're like on plane rides back from away games to another city or to back to Cleveland,
Yeah.
and they're just like seems like they're having wine and just like talking about life. It's fascinating.
Are they talking about basketball at all, or is it?
They're definitely, if you're a basketball or sports fan, it increases the interest. But they're also, it's just like very people at the peak of their game talking about not basketball often.
Yeah.
And like talking about, LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavalier, who talked about like what episode of The Fresh Prince makes him cry, things like that. I was just, as a sports fan, but
Yeah.
longtime Richard Jefferson fan also, I just found it fascinating and just burned through that whole thing.
Okay, so if you were going to start a podcast, what would your podcast be?
It'd be a South by Southwest blow by blow.
I mean, we could do it right now.
What's up?
Coming up
You're welcome to CT's South by Southwest podcast, episode 1. I'm here with the current.
Hello. All right, I'm going to go to the next question.
Okay, that was episode 1. That's good enough.
I know, that's the podcast. You can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. So we'll continue. Number 2, what was your first job?
Dishwasher at the Happy Apple Inn in Imlaystown, New Jersey.
Do you like it?
I remember actually really liking it, except for the French onion soup bowls.
Too long.
Because they bake with the cheese on, and then it's hard to get like the cheese off before it goes into the
big
dishwasher, the
machine.
big dishwasher thing. Those were very annoying. But other than that, it was chill. In the kitchen, get some free chicken fingers.
Turn on some music.
Yeah.
Podcast.
No, I
gigs
could not
back in the
choose.
day.
I
Oh.
could not choose. I was kidding me. I was a dishwasher.
Yeah.
I was a 15-year-old dishwasher.
They were like,
I
no.
couldn't do anything.
You're like, I'm glad that I'm just here. All right. First show that you went to that you left and your ears were ringing, like it was so loud and it kind of stayed with you.
I remember shows that like stayed with me, but not necessarily because of ears ringing.
Okay. We can go however we want with this. There's room for flexibility.
I would say the most truthful answer is, and this is one of the first like big shows I saw, was the Allman Brothers Band.
Yeah.
August of 1999 at the PNC Bank Arts Center in Homedale, New Jersey. I went with my dad, posted up in the lawn, you know, the sheds with the lawn. And yeah, I just remember, like, I don't remember what song, but Derek Trucks was sort of new to the band at that point, and I was young, but he was not that much older than me. And like, I remember watching him just like rip a slide solo, being like, oh, like people can play music. You can do that like in front of people. That's crazy. That was sort of, I didn't like think that I would be doing that necessarily, but I remember that really sparking both an enjoyment in real time of the show, but then also like a conceptual like, oh, that's the thing that people can do.
Were you playing music before then, or did you immediately
I was ripping up the trombone in a school band before that, but had as of yet not really picked up the various rock and roll instruments at display in Austin this week.
Very cool. Well, the last thing I will ask you before we let you go on your way and actually, rock out. We've been, Minnesota. We have a couple of musicians that are really close to our heart that a lot of people take pride in.
Mm-hmm.
There's Bob Dylan, there's The Replacements, and there's Prince. And we've been doing a lot of reflection on Prince. It's coming up on a year. And we've been asking people if they have any stories or reflections that they've had in their life, or maybe there is something that you heard or a song that you go to from Prince.
Oh, from Prince. I mean, I feel like I'm too young to really have caught the first wave of it.
Yeah.
I think I played First Avenue a few weeks ago, as you may remember.
Yes.
And that being in that room was cool, and I know conceptually about it, but I didn't like see it in the theaters and stuff. Yeah. I will say that I remember he played. My biggest experience was when the first time we played Coachella.
Yeah.
Vampire Weekend, that is. He was one of the headliners.
Yeah.
And I remember watching him and just kind of remembering our crowd at like 2 in the afternoon, and then kind of seeing his crowd like that night or the next night or whatever it was. And yeah, just like he was just killing it. And yeah, again, sort of even similar to the Dark Trucks thing. Not that I'm equating Dark Trucks to Prince necessarily, but yeah, just kind of seeing him after like me having the mental experience. So I was just on a stage, different setup, but like this is things that are where if you like, make good albums, make music that people like, you can get there. Like you can do it too. So I don't know if that works, but
that's perfect.
Okay.
I think that's the thing. It's everyone has those moments of inspiration, and it comes from various sources. Well, dude, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for being on my podcast.
Yeah, this first podcast is a real blowout. This is Jade, and we are live at South by Southwest.